Most people treat spark plug replacement like a chore. Pull the old ones out, drop the new ones in. Done. But here's what separates a 150,000-mile engine from a 400,000-mile engine. It's not just whether you change your spark plugs, it's how you change them. There's a specific method that experienced mechanics use when installing spark plugs in Acura engines that dramatically extends engine life, prevents costly future repairs, and actually improves performance beyond what a basic plug swap delivers. I call it the spark plug trick, and 99% of people, including most quick lube technicians, have never heard of it. I've been working on Acuras for years. I've seen the difference between engines where this method was used and engines where it wasn't. The difference is real. The difference is measurable. And the difference can add 50,000 miles or more to your engine's life. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what this trick is, why it works, and how to do it yourself step by step. Let's get into it. Why spark plugs matter more than you think. Most people think of spark plugs as simple igniters. They create a spark, the fuel ignites, the engine runs. Simple, right? Wrong. Spark plugs do far more than just ignite fuel. The spark plug tip reaches temperatures between 500 degrees Celsius and 850 degrees Celsius during combustion. It acts as a thermal bridge, pulling heat away from the combustion chamber and into the cylinder head. Without proper heat transfer, combustion temperatures skyrocket and damage pistons, valves, and cylinder walls. A worn spark plug with a wider gap requires more voltage to fire. That extra voltage stress degrades ignition coils faster. A single set of worn plugs can destroy ignition coils that cost $400 to $800 to replace. A misfiring plug sends unburned fuel into the exhaust, which ignites in the catalytic converter. Eventually, the catalytic converter melts internally. Replacement cost: $1,500 to $2,500. Now multiply all of these effects across 100,000 miles of driving with plugs that weren't installed correctly. That's where the 50,000 miles of lost engine life comes from, and it's entirely preventable. The foundation: using the right plugs. Before we get to the trick itself, we need to talk about plug selection. Acura specifies iridium spark plugs for virtually all modern engines. Not platinum, not copper, iridium. Iridium has a melting point of 2,447 degrees Celsius compared to platinum at 1,768 degrees Celsius and copper at 1,085 degrees Celsius. That extreme heat resistance allows iridium plugs to maintain a fine, precise electrode tip throughout their service life. A fine tip means a more focused spark. A focused spark means more complete combustion. More complete combustion means more power, better fuel economy, and less carbon buildup. Here's where people make their first critical mistake. They buy iridium plugs that aren't OEM specification for their Acura. Your Acura was designed and tuned around specific plug part numbers from Denso or NGK. Those numbers specify exact heat range, electrode geometry, reach length, and gap size. An iridium plug from a discount brand might have similar marketing language, but different specifications that don't match your engine. The heat range difference is especially critical. A plug that runs too hot causes pre-ignition. A plug that runs too cold fouls with carbon. Both shorten engine life. Use the exact OEM part number. Pull one of your current plugs, read the number stamped on it, and match it exactly. Yes, OEM plugs cost more, but for something you change every 100,000 miles that protects $10,000 worth of engine, coils, and catalytic converter, the extra $30 to $50 for OEM plugs is the best money you'll spend. If you want to pair this spark plug trick with a complete maintenance schedule covering every system in your Acura, I've created a 500,000-mile car maintenance blueprint specifically for Acura owners. Every interval, every fluid spec, every procedure in one guide. The link is in the description. Grab your copy now. The trick part 1. the pre-installation inspection. Here's where the trick begins, and it's something virtually no quick change shop ever does. Before installing new plugs, inspect what you're pulling out. Your old spark plugs are a diagnostic report on your engine's health. Normal wear. The electrode has eroded slightly but evenly. The ceramic insulator is light gray or tan. Your engine is healthy. Oil fouling. The plug is black and oily. Oil is getting into the combustion chamber, indicating worn piston rings or valve seals. Installing new plugs without addressing this means they'll foul again within 10,000 to 20,000 miles. Carbon fouling. The plug is black and dry with soot. Your engine is running rich. Could be a faulty oxygen sensor or fuel injector issue. New plugs will foul quickly if this isn't fixed. Overheating. The electrode is white or glazed. The plug has been running too hot. Possible causes include incorrect heat range or cooling system issues. If you see anything other than normal wear, fix the underlying problem before installing new plugs. Otherwise, you're putting $60 worth of new plugs into an engine with a problem that will destroy them within 20,000 miles. The trick. Part 2. Cylinder head preparation. Here's something almost nobody does, but makes a significant difference in both installation and longevity. Before installing new plugs, prepare the cylinder head threads. Use compressed air to blow out debris from the spark plug wells before removing the plugs. Debris that falls into the combustion chamber during removal causes immediate damage. After removing old plugs, use a spark plug thread chaser to clean the threads in each cylinder head. Why does this matter? Over time, carbon deposits and corrosion build up in the threads. Installing a new plug into dirty threads means the plug doesn't seat properly. Torque readings are inaccurate because friction from dirty threads affects the wrench reading. The plug can't transfer heat correctly if there's debris between the plug seat and the cylinder head. Thread chasers cost about $15 at any auto parts store. After cleaning, use compressed air again to remove loosened debris. Inspect the threads visually. Any stripped or damaged threads need to be repaired with a thread insert before installing new plugs. A stripped thread means the plug won't seal correctly, leading to compression leaks and misfires. The trick part 3. Anti-seize or no anti-seize. Here's a debate that's been going on in the mechanic community for years. The answer for modern Acuras: it depends, and getting it wrong damages your engine. For most modern Acuras with iridium plugs and aluminum cylinder heads, do not use anti-seize. Modern OEM iridium plugs from Denso and NGK come with a special thread coating that serves the same function. Using additional anti-seize changes the friction characteristics of the threads. When you torque to the manufacturer's specification, you're actually over-tightening because anti-seize reduces friction and lets the plug seat further than intended. Over-tightened plugs in aluminum heads strip threads or make future removal nearly impossible. The exception: older Acuras, pre-2005, with steel cylinder heads. A very small amount of anti-seize on the first two threads only can prevent seizing over time. What you should use on every plug regardless: dielectric grease on the rubber boot of the ignition coil, not on the plug threads, on the coil boot. This prevents the boot from bonding to the ceramic insulator over 100,000 miles of heat cycles. Without dielectric grease, the boot can fuse to the plug and tear during future removal, damaging the coil. A tiny amount coating the inside of the boot prevents a $400 to $800 ignition coil replacement down the road. The trick part 4. The gap check. Nobody does. Here's something that shocks most people. Even brand new OEM spark plugs sometimes come from the factory with gaps that are slightly off specification. Not always, but often enough that checking is always worth doing. Your Acura's engine management system is calibrated to work with a specific spark plug gap. Too wide, and the coil works harder to fire the plug. Too narrow, and combustion is incomplete and fuel economy drops. Here's how to check and set the gap. Get a feeler gauge or spark plug gap tool, about $5. Look up the exact gap specification for your Acura model in your owner's manual. Most modern Acuras specify gaps between 0.039 inches, 1.0 millimeters, and 0.044 inches, 1.1 millimeters, but verify your specific spec. Slide the correct thickness feeler gauge between the ground electrode and center electrode. It should slide through with slight resistance. If adjustment is needed, carefully adjust the ground electrode only, never the center electrode. Iridium is extremely brittle and will shatter if you try to bend the center electrode. Gap every single plug before installation. This adds maybe 5 minutes to the entire job and prevents performance issues before they start. The trick, Part 5, the installation sequence. Here's where most DIYers and quick lube shops make critical mistakes that cause stripped threads and incorrect torque. Follow this exact sequence for every plug. Step 1. Thread the plug in by hand for every single thread until it seats against the cylinder head. Never use a ratchet or tool to start threading. Cross-threading a spark plug in an aluminum cylinder head is catastrophic. The aluminum threads strip immediately. Repair requires specialized tools and costs hundreds. If the plug won't thread in smoothly by hand, stop. Clean the threads again and try again. Never force it. Step 2. Use a spark plug socket with a long extension that lets you work straight in line with the plug hole. Angled access puts sideways force on threads during installation. That sideways force causes cross-threading. Work straight, always. Step 3. Torque correctly. Get a torque wrench, not a standard ratchet. A calibrated torque wrench. Torque specification for most Acura engines: 13 pound-feet, 18 newton-meters for plugs with gaskets. For plugs with tapered seats, 7 to 8 pound-feet. Verify your specific model specification in the service manual. Under-torqued plugs don't seal properly. Combustion pressure escapes. The plug can eventually vibrate loose. Over-torqued plugs in aluminum heads strip threads. One bad torque job can mean a $500 to $1,000 head repair. Torque by feel is inconsistent. A torque wrench is consistent every time. Step 4. After torquing each plug, inspect each coil boot for cracking, burning, or oil contamination before reconnecting. Any damaged boots should be replaced now. The trick, Part 6, the post-installation procedure. Here's the final part that almost nobody does but makes a measurable difference. After installing all plugs and connecting coil packs, don't just start the engine and drive away. Start the engine and let it idle for 5 minutes without driving. During this idle period, the new plugs are seating against the cylinder head and reaching operating temperature for the first time. After 5 minutes, check for any misfire conditions. A misfire will be noticeable as rough running or visible on your OBD2 scanner as a specific cylinder code. If you have a misfire, shut the engine off immediately and investigate before driving. After the idle, drive gently for the first 10 miles. Light acceleration, moderate speeds, no hard acceleration or high RPM operation. New Iridium plugs have a very fine electrode tip that benefits from establishing its firing pattern under controlled conditions before high load operation. The first 10 gentle miles help the plug seat properly and establish the correct thermal gradient throughout the ceramic insulator. After those first 10 miles, you can drive normally. How this actually adds 50,000 miles. Let me connect all of this to the mileage claim. Here's how a proper spark plug installation adds 50,000 miles of engine life. Correct plugs with correct gap means complete, efficient combustion every cycle. Complete combustion means cleaner pistons, less carbon on valves, and lower combustion temperatures. Lower temperatures mean less thermal stress on every engine component. No coil damage means your ignition system delivers full voltage throughout the plug's service life. Full voltage means consistent spark. Consistent spark means consistent combustion without the stress of occasional misfires. No catalytic converter damage saves you from $1,500 to $2,500 in replacement costs. Correct torque means plugs seat properly and transfer heat correctly throughout their service life. Plugs that don't seat properly run hotter than designed, causing localized overheating in the combustion chamber. Clean threads mean accurate torque and correct seating from installation day one. Dielectric grease means clean coil removal at 100,000 miles without damaging coils that protect everything else. Add these benefits across an engine's entire service life, and the reduction in cumulative stress, heat, and wear absolutely translates to 50,000 miles or more of additional engine life. This isn't a dramatic single fix. It's precision maintenance that compounds over hundreds of thousands of miles. So there you have it, the spark plug trick that adds 50,000 miles to any Acura engine. Use the exact OEM Iridium plug part number for your specific model. Inspect your old plugs before removal to diagnose underlying engine issues. Clean the cylinder head threads before installation. Understand when to use anti-seize and when not to. And always use dielectric grease on coil boots. Gap check every plug before installation. Thread by hand, work straight, and torque to specification with a calibrated torque wrench. Follow the post-installation idle and gentle break-in procedure. None of these steps are difficult. All of them matter. The difference between a mechanic who does all of these steps and one who just pulls old plugs and drops in new ones is exactly the difference between an engine that lasts 150,000 miles and one that runs strong past 400,000. Do it right every time. And if you want the complete maintenance blueprint that covers every system in your Acura with the same level of detail, every fluid, every filter, every service interval done correctly, I've put it all together in the 500,000 mile car maintenance blueprint for Acura owners. Click the link in the description and get your copy now, because precision maintenance like this is exactly what 500,000-mile engines are built on. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.